Welcome to Sports Right Now with Boots and Poops. Alright, Poops, we got some new studio stuff. We got a mic coming in here, you guys might have noticed.
That's top quality too, Boots.
We got new cameras in here. Looking good in the Sports Right Now
I feel we've upgraded.
I feel so too. Alright, we're going to start off with Falcons versus Bills. Poops, what do you
know you think the Falcons are going to run the table, but I think this game is not going to be close. I'm totally on board with the Bills again. Once they beat the Pats, everything changes. They're going to be on a roll. Their confidence is up. They've always had the players. Their confidence, though, is up. That's what they need to roll into the playoffs. I believe they're going to win this game comfortably.
You may think that. First of all, both teams are fighting for the playoff spot. Falcons are 7-8. Bills are 9-6. Oh no, but in the NFC,
are you giving credit to a 7-8
No,
team?
but they're only one game back of the Eagles, who are in the 7th spot in the NFC.
They're not even in the same conference.
They can get the Eagles.
The Eagles are in the NFC.
I know. So are the Falcons.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bills.
Oh no. No. I'm saying they could still get in. The Falcons can. And also,
we're going to talk about the
all
Eagles
the Bills
later.
have to do.
That's
all the Bills have to do.
That's nonsense.
All the Bills have to do is play an average game to win this one.
The Bills are clearly the better team.
They're clearly the better team, but the Falcons can sometimes pull out a win against a good team. They can't.
Anything's possible.
Anyways, let me get down to the point.
I think this one is clear.
I'm going with the Bills. Poops is going with the Bills.
There's some games that are close this week. I don't believe this is one of them.
Okay. Next game. How about this is the one of the day? Chiefs versus Bengals.
There are a couple of very good games this week. This is definitely one of them. Everybody's on the Chiefs bandwagon right now. Everybody. I'm going a different direction. I love the Bengals. I love Burrow. The Bengals offense has so many tools.
You are delusional.
You don't
You're a lunatic.
Do you not believe in Higgins?
Do you not?
Yes, believe
I think Higgins is a good.
Chase?
I think Higgins is good.
Chase is about to set a rookie record for all time.
Higgins is good. Chase is good.
Chase makes some mistakes, but he's also a phenomenally talented athlete.
You don't understand how good the Chiefs are.
Burrow,
You're not giving them enough credit.
Burrow is like a young version of Tommy G.
Okay. Actually, I'd like to dive into some Burrow stats. Okay. First of all, you're talking about Burrow.
Please do not.
But he only has 30 touchdowns all year.
Only? Are you kidding me? He's a second-year guy who only played half of it.
Let me get to the point. He has 14 picks. Mahomes has 33 touchdowns and 13 picks. Okay, well, wait. Which stat line is better? Which stat line is better? Answer the question.
Can I talk for a minute, please?
Okay.
Okay, you've been talking all year that Mahomes is the greatest QB of all time. He's only got one less pick than Burrow, who you're running into the ground right now. Burrow has about 1 year experience because he was out half of the year last year. Burrow is doing Mahomes hadn't even played yet in his rookie year.
You're delusional.
That is ridiculous.
I'd also you always talk about how Herbert, right, is not as good of a pick as Burrow was. Burrow, you think Burrow?
I believe Burrow is the
better quarterback.
I believe he is.
Herbert also better numbers than Burrow with 33 TDs.
Let's talk about last week.
14 picks, same amount of picks,
talk about last week.
And also more yards. When you compare the numbers, Herbert also has a better QB rating. What is there to not like? What is there to not like about Herbert? To like about Burrow?
I like Herbert. I myself would choose Burrow over Herbert. But I think Herbert is also a very, very talented young quarterback. But Burrow, we're not talking...
If they get a lead, if the Chiefs get... I don't know where it came from. But if the Chiefs get a lead in this one, it's over. The Bengals are not coming back. That defense sucks.
No, I think...
They're 29th against the pass, and that's what Mahomes' specialty. They're 29th against the pass.
Here's the thing. Cincy defense did get off to a very rocky start, but they're getting better. They're improving.
You are delusional.
They're improving. And this could be a score fest, this game. Mm-hmm. This could be a high-scoring game.
Absolutely.
And I think if this game is close late, Cincy has a real chance to pull an upset here. Mm-hmm. I know everybody's going to pick the Chiefs. I know probably that's the right thing to do. Somehow I'm sensing Cincy could pull the upset here.
I'm gonna lay out the lie for the playoff picture. If the Chiefs win this one, they have the number 1 seed locked up. I'm pretty sure they have the number 1 seed locked up if they win this. But
I don't know that it's locked up. I think it can come down to last week.
If the Bengals, it's possible but unlikely. Because the Chiefs have an easy last week. If the Bengals lose, they are in trouble dropping to 9-7. Because then
No, but all the Bengals have to do is win their last game, and they've got their division.
Yes.
So
correct.
Realistically, both these teams are in.
Uh-huh.
I think this is more a psychological win for whichever team wins. Mm-hmm. It probably means more, in a sense, to the Chiefs locking up that bye week. But I think both teams really want to win this game.
Yes. It's
going to be a great game.
It's going to be a good game. All right, Raiders. Wait, you're going with the...
I'm going, just because I want every week to have at least one big upset pick, I'm picking Bengals.
You're delusional.
I think I probably am delusional, but...
I'm going with the Chiefs, obviously.
Of course you would go with the mainstream, go with the favored team.
I never go with the favored team.
Okay,
Raiders versus Colts.
Okay, I think this is clear cut too. Although the problem
Raiders
is
are 8-7. If the Raiders lose, they're out.
Yes, the Colts are clearly the better team. The whole problem is Wentz is out. They have to go with a guy that really.
Here you go. Listen to this.
Who are they even?
Raiders are 19th against the run. Okay.
This is all about COVID, really.
Jonathan Taylor's brilliant.
Yes.
The
Raiders
put him as the second best running back in the league, right behind Derrick Henry.
And I think that's we had that debate. I think it's very close. He's great. There's no question.
You know, Henry was the front runner for MVP before he got hurt.
I know all of what you're gonna say.
Yeah, you don't understand. All right, Colts though are in trouble if they lose, but. They're going to drop to 9-7.
The Colts can lose and still make the playoffs. That's not the issue. But the Colts, the only issue with the Colts, not picking the Colts here, is wins. Mm-hmm. Who do they have?
They don't have anyone.
So then it becomes what kind of one-dimensional can JT win the game?
By himself.
Can JT and the offensive line win the game for the Colts? Mm-hmm. The Colts defense is going to play tough.
Who are you taking?
Well, I was going to take clear cut until... Didn't that news just come in fairly recently that he's out? That Wentz is
fairly
out?
Recently.
I had this all like it was a clear-cut pick. I still like the Colts, but I'm going Colts.
You're going Colts?
You're probably going Raiders.
I'm going Colts.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor's just too good. And to be 19th against the run, you need to be 5th against the run or better to beat this team. Okay, now, next game, Dolphins versus Titans. This is a big one.
This is also a tough pick. Because the Dolphins, after that 7-game losing streak, have been one of the best teams in the NFL.
They've won 8 straight.
I know, it's phenomenal.
And
that doesn't happen.
And Tua's looked great. For all the doubters out there about Tua Tagovailoa, he's looked great.
I could be wrong, but I believe he has the best completion percentage in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tua, who was getting no respect.
Another thing I'd like to touch on for Tennessee, though, is Derrick Henry is expected back Week 18.
Yeah, but we're not in Week 18.
No, I'm just saying, it's something.
Well,
that's
it's something
huge.
for
that's
another week,
that
another
is
show.
Huge. Dolphins are doing great right now. The Titans
are doing great too, though.
No, but they're battling for that division.
But they have performed so well without Henry that nobody believed they could do.
They haven't been nearly as good without Henry.
Not because they don't have a running game. So they become one-dimensional. But Tannehill has done well. Their defense has done great.
Agreed.
Their offensive line maybe hasn't done as well as it should because they should have been able to do more.
Or it's just not a better run, or it's just not a great running back there.
No, it's not. But the offensive line has a lot to do with that too. I think this is everybody probably here is going to go with Titans.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the right pick again. I'm going Dolphins.
This one's a tough one for me because honestly, I think the Titans are great, but without Henry, I just don't know. And
You haven't had Henry for half of the year.
Still, it's gonna break at some point. You've already seen the flashes of when they don't look nearly as good on the floor. Because Henry's also picks up a bunch of blocks and on play action.
I think you're still talking Henry. He hasn't been there since week 8.
Okay.
Let go of Henry.
This is what I'm picking. I'm picking the Titans. Because Tannehill, I think he's going to come through. He's come through the whole time without Henry. Really.
Honestly, I think that's the right pick. I don't even know why I'm picking the Dolphins.
I don't know why you are either.
They're on a long streak, sure. Titans are really the better team.
They have a great, yeah.
But I'm sticking with my pick on the Dolphins.
This game isn't great, but Eagles versus Washington football team.
Clear cut. Washington is done. Eagles are going to win this game. They need to win the game. They win the game, they're in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
So they need it. Washington really, they were doing well, and then they kind of just emotionally fell apart, I think. I think they're just done for the year. So Eagles, they have the running game going. Hurts is decent. I mean, he may not be one of the premier elite kind of quarterbacks, but I think he's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
He gives them 2 dimensions. He's not a one-dimensional guy.
Okay.
I think the Eagles clear-cut choice.
Washington football team is out with a loss. They're out of the playoff picture with a loss.
But they've been playing like they're out too.
Yes. Eagles with a win are most likely in. They are in the They're hanging on to that 7th spot right now. They would jump to 9-7. They may. If the Vikings lose they might.
I think it clinches.
They might. But I'm rooting for the Eagles in this one because I don't think WFT has a chance. And I'm going to go with the Eagles. I would like to see Hurts use his legs a little more. We didn't against the Giants last week. We didn't see him use his leg as much. Doesn't Hurts have like a bad
ankle?
Uh-huh.
So
he did.
I'm sure he could run more, but they're probably telling him don't, because they don't want to lose that guy at this point. Chances are they're in the playoffs, but they got to have Hurts in the playoffs. They can't go with a backup to Hurts. Hurts isn't that good himself. They certainly can't go with a backup to Hurts.
Okay. Rams versus Ravens. This is our first really big game today.
One of the most sad things of the year, really, is the Ravens. The Ravens start off the year very, very good. They've got a good coach, really a great coach, I'd say. They had a really an MVP candidate in Lamar. They're so beat up, man. And I think they've lost 3 in a row now, haven't they?
Uh-huh.
They're just a shell of what they were in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. They're too beat up. They could play Lamar, but they probably shouldn't.
You're saying everything that I was about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ravens suck. Rams probably good.
The Ravens don't suck. They're hurt.
No,
you can't. It's not like a bad team. They're a good team that's been decimated. So
they have no receivers.
The Rams are up and down.
They have no receivers. Marquise Hollywood Brown is questionable in this one. Lamar is questionable. Now, they can't run the ball to save their life. They don't even have a running back.
The Ravens now need to concentrate on the offseason and putting some tools in place for Lamar.
The only way they can make the playoffs this year.
They're not making the playoffs.
The only way they can do it. I'm saying the only way they can do it, though, is if that defense plays incredible, which they haven't.
Oh, the only way they can do it is if Lamar comes back and he's Lamar of the first 6 games of the year. Now, that's the only way. But that isn't happening. They need to concentrate off season, put tools in place.
Stafford doesn't look great, but he is getting the job done.
They're on a roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looks great. Sometimes he looks like he's a mediocre quarterback that nobody should have traded all the junk that the Rams traded to get him. But you got to go Rams here.
But who are you starting, Lamar or Huntley?
I myself would not play Lamar because I think they're risking. Lamar is not 100%.
I would play Huntley because Huntley,
And he's done okay.
Huntley looks like Lamar, honestly.
Well, no,
'cause he
he's
has
not
such
Lamar.
good
Lamar
speed.
is unique in
I
the.
think Huntley looks
You have to
great.
go back to Michael Vick to see somebody like Lamar. And
think-
I don't think Michael Vick was quite as elusive as Lamar as a runner.
Mhm.
He's a great runner, Michael Vick. But Lamar is in a category of his own. But I would not risk his future because I don't think they're going anywhere anyway.
I agree with that, and I also think Huntley's doing pretty well, and that's another reason you can start him. I would be confident starting Huntley. Okay,
They're losing this game no matter who they start.
Yeah.
Is my
I'm
opinion.
going with the Rams too. Okay, Broncos versus Chargers.
Man,
8-7 versus 7-8.
of course you're picking the Chargers, but this is just COVID situation also.
Okay.
Who do you go with? You've got two Broncos. I think are on what? Have they lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Something like that.
2 in a row.
They were looking good for a while, but I guess I'm going Chargers here just by default. Because I don't have any confidence.
Chargers probably out with a loss in this one. If they lose, they're out likely. Broncos win. Out
I think likely the Chargers are going to find a way to get
Broncos
slip into
are
the playoffs.
completely out with a loss. And here you go. If the Broncos can win this game, if they just run the football down the Chargers' throat, because the Chargers are missing linebackers with Tranquil and Murray out. That is a huge loss. Tranquil doubtful, actually. My fault on that one. I am picking the Chargers, though, just a default, kind of.
I think
just
also
they're a better
Herbert is
team.
kind of due.
Uh-huh.
He's due for, he has big games.
Uh-huh.
They just kind of randomly pop up, but he's due for a big
It's
game.
going to come down to the Chargers' defense in this one. It can't.
Or
Chargers
Herbert.
Get stopped.
Herbert could go off.
Uh-huh.
They could, if he does, they score a lot of points.
Yeah.
They're going to win. I think he's due. I'm going Chargers. Too.
Okay. Cardinals versus. This one is good. Cardinals versus Cowboys.
I don't see how you pick the Cardinals.
I don't. This is my point. Cowboys look good. Cardinals look bad.
Cardinals lost at least 3 in a row.
Have you heard the Cowboys are the only team in NFL history, I think, to have a guy with more than 10 sacks and more than 10 picks in the same year. With Parsons and Diggs.
That's some good research.
Yes. Broncos.
Good research by Boots.
Yes. But here you go. Dak looked great last game. He really, he just looked incredible.
But remember,
they blew
a
him
week
out.
before they were talking slump.
Yes, they were.
So,
I mean, Budda Baker questionable, and a huge part of what's making the Cardinals go down, I think, is not having DeAndre Hopkins. That is really hurting them.
Yep.
Kyler Murray
supposedly
needs that
Dak was
target.
good enough to overcome that, and he should be.
No,
the Cowboy,
Kyler doesn't have
Oh,
DeAndre Hopkins.
you're talking about Arizona now.
Yeah, he doesn't have D-Hop.
I really think Arizona, with or without Hopkins, they're doing the same thing they do every year.
They should at least make the playoffs
They
this
don't
year.
have enough talent to survive an NFL season.
They're going to make the playoffs this year.
No, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to make the playoffs a shell of what they were in the first half of the year.
Kind of like the Ravens.
I think they were 7-0 at one point.
Yes.
Whatever number they were undefeated for quite a long time. They were the last undefeated team. Since then, they're way below 500.
They look like the Seahawks last year.
How many games have there been so far? 15, right? Okay. So if they were 7-0, they're 3-5 for the last 8 games. They're not a good team anymore. But this happens every year to them. At some point, you got to realize this is what they are. Unless they can rebuild in a way so they can actually survive. And now, it's even harder now. It's 17 games. They're never going to get to the playoffs in a form, whether they make it or not, in a form where they can win playoff games.
Yeah, correct.
They're not going to win this game. For one, they're playing probably the most talented team in the NFL. If you look on both sides of the ball, they're not the most reliable team.
But they're
the most talented. They've got unbelievable talent on offense and defense.
Yes, Cooper, Gallup, Lamb, receivers. Then you have Elliott and
Dak.
Pollard and
Dak
Dak
is
in
an
the back.
extremely talented quarterback.
And then on the other side, Parsons, Diggs.
Yeah.
You got everyone back there.
Yes, they're the way they can rush the passer.
Lawrence, yeah.
Lawrence too. Nobody
Smith.
else has that amount of talent.
No.
And they probably have the defensive player of the year in Parsons. So they may not be reliable because they're the Cowboys.
I don't think they're going
They haven't been reliable.
I don't think Parsons is getting DPO.
He might. But they haven't been reliable since the 1990s, like 26 years ago or something. 25 years ago, whatever it's been. But that talent...
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? That talent against a decimated Cardinals team, they should win comfortably.
Yes. Packers versus Vikings, easy pick. Kirk Cousins is out.
This, for me, is the most frustrating game. I was ready to go Vikings on this.
And then Kirk Cousins was out.
Because
I was going to go
the
Vikings
kind of have the Packers number. They're the one team that seems to be successful against the Packers, even though they shouldn't be. They can't do this without Cousins.
No.
So you got to go Packers now. But I really wanted to see Vikings.
I was going to say Vikings too. If Kirk Cousins wasn't
This
out.
is what's so... I mean, COVID is sad for a lot of reasons for the whole country. But this game in particular, losing Cousins at the last minute, that is such a sad thing.
It's frustrating.
I think the Vikings would have won this game if they had Cousins.
And if they won this game, they would have had
It
a good
changes
chance
everything.
to make the playoffs.
Yes, they had a good chance. And they're like a team that's fought all year. They've lost so many close games. You know, games that could have gone either way until the very end.
Yes.
And they beat the Pack.
Uh-huh.
They could have swept the Packers.
They could have swept the Packers. I completely agree. All right, last game to talk. We have Browns versus Steelers. Who are you taking, Poot?
I'll tell you, I don't believe in either of these teams.
7-8 or 7-7-1.
I don't believe in either one, but I really don't believe in the
Loser
Browns.
out, winner has a chance.
I'm going Steelers here.
I'm going with the Browns.
I'm kind of disgusted with the Browns.
I'm disgusted with both these teams. They both suck, frankly.
I'll tell you what is kind of a deciding factor. Very likely, this is the end for Roethlisberger.
Very, very likely.
He's going to want to go out. And this is actually, I believe, his last home game. That he's got clearly a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
There's no question. He's not going to go. He's not going to want to go out in his last home game looking like a bum. I think he's going to rise to the occasion and play a decent game. I have no confidence at all in the Browns.
I have no confidence in the Browns.
I
have no confidence in either of these teams. I think they're both terrible. They don't have a chance. I think both of them don't have a chance.
They're not terrible, but they're not contenders.
Yeah.
So if either one of them slips into the playoffs, it's a one and done situation because they're not going anywhere. And I kind of also hope, I don't really like Roethlisberger, but I want him to go out with at least a decent performance. So I would definitely pick Steelers.
Yes, I am going with the Browns in this one. Me and Poops are on separate sides in this one.
Apparently we have been in a number of games this week.
All right. Well, that's it today for us from Sports Right Now. We are going to be saying so long from our new studio and goodbye from Sports Right Now.